Hello, hello, hello. It's Teresa from Teresa's Spot for Art and the Junk Journal Hive membership community, where we love to help you guys get started and improve on your junk journaling and art journaling techniques. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. I have something really cool this morning I'm going to be showing you. I did some research and I looked up how to create some fake vellum papers. And so, this is what we're going to be making today. This is one with a napkin. Um, this is some with my writing. This is some with asemic writing. I don't know if we're going to do this one or not today. We're going to use a napkin, some tissue paper. This was tissue paper. See how it's got a little bit of a, I don't know, like a cloud to it because it's tissue paper, so you can see through it, but not completely. And then I did a couple of little collage ones. But today we are going to use this awesome download. It's provided for you. The link is in the description below. 2 pages. Aren't these gorgeous? And then I have some, really fun tissue paper and a couple of little napkins. So I'm going to turn you guys around and we are going to get started. Okay, also with your download, with these 2 pages, there's also a supply list of what you need that I have in this little squeeze bottle here. I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it in so I have this little condiment cup. I'm going to take some of my mixture. Now this is a mixture of 50% Elmer's glue all, 50% Mod Podge, and then honestly a little bit of water. 2-3 tablespoons of water. You put it into your condiment bottle and you shake it up. I'm going to put it over here so I can use my soft brush, and we're going to get started. First thing I'm going to do is this really cool tissue paper. I'm just going to cut a piece off of it. I like to work in, you'll see with this PDF, the PDF is 4 designs, half sheets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like it's easier when you're working with vellum. Vellum is just ephemera to add to your art journals or as a background. And I feel like half a page, 8.5 by 5.5 is plenty to do these on. If you wanted to do a whole 8.5 by 11 page, you can. Totally up to you. I think I'm going to make this into 2 squares here too. What I have on my counter or my workspace here is plastic coated freezer paper. That is also in the supply list. This is Reynolds brand. You can get any kind of brand you want as long as it is plastic coated so your art peels right off. So let's start this one because it's in the middle and I'll just keep switching around. All right, I'm going to take my brush and my mixture, and I'm literally just going to start adhering this to the freezer paper. So we're not Mod Podging it down to the paper. I didn't put a layer of Mod Podge first or this Mod Podge mixture with the Elmer's glue all. I'm just putting a coat of it, over the top. That's why it will move because we're not Mod Podging it down. Now be careful. We want to avoid wrinkles, but you know what? It's junk journaling. So if you get some wrinkles, it's fine. I am brushing from the inside out and I'm covering the whole thing. And I'm just going to use up as much of my freezer paper as possible. I like to do this stuff in batches. Another one down here. So when I'm ready to junk journal, I could just go into my stash. I'm going to hold this now. I can just go into my stash and pull out what I need, the colors I feel like for the day, whatever mood strikes me. You can be a little bit more aggressive with your Mod Podge with tissue paper and copy paper. You do have to be very careful with your Mod Podge when working with napkins. They're very thin and will tear easily. Okay, so I'm going to just move this one to the side for now. I'm going to come here. So I have 2 napkins out, a couple of pieces. So I have this one that's already been separated. So we're going to use that one. And then I have this one. I thought this was fun. I was in a napkin exchange and I got a bunch of really cool napkins. While this is probably not my style, I thought it would be cool to show you guys something with this. So I'm going to just cut off this quarter. of the napkin. All right? And put that aside. Then we want to, let me use that one, separate our plies. Some napkins are 2-ply, some napkins are 3-ply. You can tell, pick a corner and separate. You can tell if there's another ply, by how translucent your art is, okay? If you get to the printed art side and it's pretty translucent, you got all the plies. If it's still a little milky and you can't see the colors as vibrant, there's probably another ply of clear under it that you're gonna have to come up here and find and peel back. Okay? I'm going to cut this out, and I'm not even gonna be careful about it, because when we vellum napkins, because the paper is so thin, this is basically going to melt away and be clear. I don't know. It's going to look like this. So on this piece of vellum here that I made, you can only see the writing. That's what's going to happen to this piece. You're only going to be able to see the little characters. So if you have a napkin with butterflies or another beautiful shape you want, and you only want that shape, and you don't want to be fussy cutting around it and in and out, all the little grooves and stuff, prep yourself up a little piece of vellum. Get out your freezer paper, your plastic coated freezer paper, and this glue Mod Podge mixture, 50% Elmer's glue all, not school glue, Elmer's glue all, and 50% matte Mod Podge. And then maybe, depending on how much you make, 2, 3, 4 tablespoons of water. I made this bottle. This is, oh, it only has, okay, this is a 200 milliliter bottle, whatever that means. And I put 3 tablespoons of water in it. I did 50% glue all, 50% Mod Podge, and then I put in 3 tablespoons. I actually even used a tablespoon and measured in 3 tablespoons of water. You want to be able to work with and brush down your Mod Podge, especially when doing the napkins, because the napkins are fragile. They're very thin. Okay, so I'm just trying to get out the wrinkles here. But again, junk journaling, no rules. Let me fix this piece here. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to move this up. And we're going to move on to this one. I'm going to take my piece of paper that I printed, this one, because isn't this gorgeous? So I just want to cut the white edges off, because unless you have a printer that does borderless printing, you're going to have edges on your paper. And again, if you wanted to do a full sheet of something, go right ahead. Make sure your freezer paper is large enough. I feel like when I'm creating these vellum pages, and they're either going to be a background or I'm going to cut them up as for layering on my junk journals, that these half sheets are plenty. I even provided this second sheet, which is more neutrals. And then these, you can use this together, or you can cut these all out in strips and do separate pieces. So I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to hold it down. So the trick to this, or another trick to this, again, we're not Mod Podging it to the freezer paper. We're putting a coat of Mod Podge glue vellum mixture on paper. Okay, you can go off a little bit, and you can be a little bit carefree when you're doing copy paper, because the copy paper is nice and strong. You have to be very careful when doing napkins, and even more careful. Very careful when you're doing tissue paper, and even more careful when you're doing napkins. And you can see right now that my designs are a little milky, because this vellum mixture is still wet. You want to have everything dry, completely dry. Then you're going to carefully peel off your designs, your arts, your papers, whatever it is. You're going to carefully peel them off, carefully, flip them over, and do a second coat. Sometimes with a napkin or tissue paper, you have to do 3 coats, but that's up to you. That's whatever consistency you want, how thick you want your vellum to be. It's totally up to you. So this is that page. So we did these 2 napkins. We did these 2 sheets of copy paper. And then I did these tissue papers. And I'm going to come over here because these are so cool looking. I'm going to cut this one out. I'm going to save that. And I'm going to cut these into strips that I was just telling you guys about. You never know where you just want another little hint of layer, color for your junk journal or your art journal. And I'm going to take these and I'm just going to fill up the space. You can, and I have, reused these freezer papers. This is probably the 4th time I've used these. So yeah, when you're done, just take them, lay them someplace flat because you don't want them to be all wrinkly. I should be cutting them over my junk bowl, right? You don't want them to be all wrinkly. And then the next time you want to make some vellum papers, I'm going to see if I can put my heat gun on one of these and dry it completely and show you how to flip it and do your second coat. And then just organize your papers where you keep them. I keep an accordion folder. It has some napkins. It has vellums. It has my papers that I've made with my writing. It has magazine clippings that I've taken out that are in the rainbow. So that's that. That's that. That's that. Let's move this out the way. And I'm going to get my heat gun. I'll see you in a minute when this is dry. Okay, I can't really give you guys a drying time because drying times take into a lot of factors. How long ago you made your solution, how much water you put in it, the humidity, the temperature in your house, where you live, because that's what really dictates humidity. So I can't really give you a drying time, but you want to make sure that these are completely dry to the touch. I usually make mine, I set them aside, I leave them overnight to dry, and then the next day at some point I come back. So I dried them with the heat gun. Let's see if we can do what we need to do. Just going to find a corner, and you want to do this as gently as possible. All right, so I'm just going to slip. It's not. There we go. And again, these are junk journals, creative journals. Does not have to be perfect, but I am trying to show you how you want to be as gentle as possible. I'm going extremely slowly here. You want to be careful, get some of it up, and then carefully watch and peel it back. Now this is still a little wet underneath. The heat gun dried it on the surface, but not on the background. And so that's why we really want to let these things dry overnight. But that's okay. Look how cool that looks already. This would make an awesome background for your junk journal. So now I just flipped it over. I'm going to see if I can do this one without ripping it. I might not be able to. I don't care about the edges. We just want to hold on to the design because I used this design because it was surrounded by white, just to show you how the background melts away and you don't have to fussy cut. All you'll be left with is the picture. I'm going very slowly. Again, the heat gun dried it to the surface touch, but not all the way through. So it's not dried completely, but you can see now, and once it's dry completely, this really becomes almost completely translucent, and all you see is the design. So when you place this in your journal, it just like blends into your journal spread. Okay, I'm going to turn them over, get my brush, and I'm going to do the second coat. Again, second coat, let it dry completely, and then come back. If you want it thicker, you can go for a third coat or a fourth coat. Totally up to you. I do at least 2 coats, front and back. And if you see, I put, maybe a ½ inch in this cup when we started, so I have someplace to dip my brush. And that's all I've used. This mixture, depending on how much you make. And I made 200, what is this? I don't know metric liquid. I don't know metric at all, but I definitely don't know metric liquid measurements. So it's probably, I would imagine that's at least a 12 ounce to a 16 ounce squeeze bottle. It's for condiments. I use it for my paint and my mediums. Okay, so this is second coat of this one. We're still letting this dry. Put this aside, and we're letting this one dry. It's getting there. Okay, so let me turn you guys around. And again, you can do it with writing. This writing was done on the white part of the napkin. I did it carefully on the white part of the napkin with a Sharpie. This is a semic writing. 2 miscellaneous collages, one with red, white, and blue. This was with copy paper. I tore and made this collage. And this is with magazine. I tore and made this collage. Again, collaged them up. 2 coats of my vellum mixture. This was 2 other pieces of napkin. And then I had a big napkin here somewhere. Oh, here it is. And then this was about the whole napkin. Isn't that just gorgeous? So pretty. And then you put paper behind it. I have a piece of it. Put paper behind it. How pretty is that? And look how, aside from like using, this is like really durable now. It's not like using a regular napkin that will rip. So I will post these pictures when they're done. You can grab the free download in the description below. And there's also a link to join the Junk Journal Hive. It is our membership, me and Serena Correa, our Junk Journal community membership, where we do 4 tutorials a month and provide lots of free printables for your junk journaling and art journaling experience, including some really, really good kits. So please subscribe to my channel as well as the Junk Journal Hive YouTube channel. And we will see you next time. Thanks for watching.